They called me fearless. They were wrong. 5 fighters kept me up at night. 5 names that made my blood freeze. Not because I'd lose, because of what they'd do to me. The damage, the pain, the end. I floated like a butterfly against everyone else. But these 5? Different, dangerous, deadly. I found ways to avoid them, used excuses, politics, money, timing. My team helped me duck them. We never admitted it, until now. This is the truth. These 5 men terrified Muhammad Ali. Fighter number 1, Earnie Shavers. Ernie Shavers, the hardest puncher in heavyweight history. Everyone said it. George Foreman said it. I said it myself. But saying it and facing it, 2 different things. I fought Shavers in 1977, Madison Square Garden, 15 brutal rounds. I won. The judges gave it to me, but I paid a price that night. Round 2, he caught me clean, a right hand that rattled my ancestors. My legs went, vision blurred. I grabbed him, held on, survived. But something changed in that moment. I realized I wasn't untouchable anymore. Age was catching up, reflexes slowing. And Shavers? He was a loaded gun. Every punch could be the last one I'd ever see. After that fight, they wanted a rematch. Big money, Madison Square Garden again. I said no, made excuses, moved on to easier fights. People thought I was being strategic, protecting my legacy. Truth? I was terrified of going back in there with him. That power didn't care about skill, didn't care about speed. One mistake, one slip, one moment of carelessness, and it's over. I saw what he did to Ken Norton, broke him in 1 round. I saw what he did to other champions, ended careers, destroyed men. I didn't want to be next, so I avoided him, never gave him that rematch. Let someone else risk their life against those hands. Fighter number 2, George Foreman, the rematch I refused. October the 30th, 1974. Kinshasa, Zaire. I knocked out George Foreman, the Rumble in the Jungle, greatest upset in boxing history. My defining moment. But here's what nobody talks about. I never fought him again. They offered me millions. Foreman wanted revenge. The world wanted to see it. I said no. Every single time. Why? Because I got lucky in Zaire. I know it. He knows it. That rope-a-dope worked once, caught him tired, caught him frustrated. But I felt his power that night. Every body shot, every hook. It was different than anything I'd faced before. Not like Liston's power, not like Frazier's. This was raw destruction, like getting hit by a car. I'd 8 rounds of absorbing that punishment broke something in me. After Zaire, my body was never the same. Kidneys hurt for months, ribs ached, couldn't breathe deep. And that was from a tired, frustrated Foreman. A motivated Foreman. A hungry Foreman. A Foreman who studied that fight? I didn't want to find out. I watched him destroy Joe Frazier, twice, demolished him. I watched him obliterate Ken Norton, made him quit. And I thought, that could have been me in Zaire. So when they kept offering the rematch, I kept refusing. Retired, came back, fought everyone else, but never George again. People called it smart business, protecting my legacy. Truth? I was protecting my life. I'd felt his power once. That was enough. Fighter number 3, Ron Lyle. Ron Lyle scared me in a way most people wouldn't understand. It wasn't just his power. I wasn't just his record. It was what he represented. Prison rage. Lyle spent 7 years in prison for murder, stabbed 19 times in a prison riot, died on the operating table, came back to life. That's not a fighter. That's a man with nothing to lose. I'd been to jail, 3 years for refusing the draft, but I was a conscientious objector. A man of principle. Lyle? He was violence incarnate. When he stepped in the ring, he brought death with him. I watched him fight George Foreman in 1976. Both men knocked down multiple times. Absolute war. The kind of fight that shortens careers. Foreman won. Barely. And I thought, if Foreman struggled like that, what would Lyle do to me? I was already past my prime, already slowing down. My team knew it. I knew it. We picked opponents carefully, strategically. 8 names that looked good on paper but wouldn't kill me. Ron Lyle was never on that list. Too dangerous, too unpredictable, too willing to die in there. They approached us multiple times. Big money. HBO wanted it. I found reasons to say no. Schedule conflicts. Other commitments. Truth? I didn't want to face a man who'd already died once. What do you do against someone with no fear of death? How do you intimidate someone who's been stabbed 19 times? You don't. You avoid him. You move on. And that's exactly what I did. Fighter number 4, Jerry Quarry, the rematch I ducked. Jerry Quarry broke my jaw in 1970. Round 1, in clean right hand. Fractured. I still won the fight, stopped him in 3 rounds. But I felt that punch for months, years even. They wanted a rematch. Quarry demanded it, deserved it. Never happened. Why? And because Quarry was the white fighter the media loved, the great white hope, Irish, tough, relentless. If he beat me, the narrative would have been devastating. Ali loses to white fighter. Headlines everywhere, civil rights movement, black pride, everything I represented. One loss to Quarry could have undone it all. So I avoided him, fought everyone else twice, 3 times, but never gave Quarry his rematch. It wasn't fear of losing, it was fear of what that loss would mean. For my people, for the movement, for everything bigger than boxing. Quarry kept calling me out. Kept asking why. I never answered honestly, gave him political excuses, business reasons. But the truth? He was too dangerous to my legacy. That jaw fracture reminded me every day. One punch changed everything. One fight could destroy everything. I chose to protect what I'd built, even if it meant avoiding a man who deserved his shot. That's the decision champions make, the ones nobody talks about, the ones that keep you great, but cost you something you can never get back. Fighter number 5, Joe Frazier. The 4th fight I refused. 3 times we fought, 3 wars, 1971. He broke my jaw, took my undefeated record, 1972. I won, avenged the loss, 1973, Manila. The Thriller, nearly killed both of us. After Manila, they wanted a 4th fight, millions on the table, the world demanding it. I said no. Absolutely not. Joe wanted it, needed it, begged for it. I refused, walked away, never looked back. Why? Because Manila showed me something terrifying, what we were willing to do to each other. Round 14, I couldn't see, couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. My corner wanted to stop it. I wouldn't let them. Joe's corner stopped it first, saved his life. But here's what haunts me. If they hadn't stopped it, one of us would have died. In that ring, in front of the world. And it might have been me. After Manila, I looked in the mirror, didn't recognize myself. Face swollen, body broken, something permanently damaged inside. Joe looked worse, hospitalized for weeks. We'd become monsters to each other, destroying each other for sport, for pride, for ego, for money. A 4th fight. It would have been murder. One of us wouldn't have walked out. I knew it. Joe knew it. Everyone knew it. But Joe still wanted it, still called for it. That scared me more than anything. What had we become? What had this sport done to us? I avoided Joe after that, publicly insulted him, pushed him away. People thought I was cruel, thought I hated him. A truth? I was terrified of what we'd do if we fought again, terrified of the darkness we brought out in each other. So I refused, made excuses, moved on to easier fights, let our trilogy stand as it was. 3 fights, 2 wins, 1 draw in history, but no 4th fight, no final war. Because some things are more important than legacy, like staying alive. The truth about fear. These 5 men taught me something the world doesn't understand. Fear isn't weakness. Fear is survival. Every fighter has names that keep them up at night. Opponents they avoid. Matchups they refuse. The smart ones admit it, move on, protect themselves. The foolish ones fight anyway, end up broken, forgotten. I chose survival, chose my health, chose my life. Does that make me less than the greatest? Maybe to some people. But I'm 74 years old. Still here, I'm still breathing. Ron Lyle died at 65, Quarry at 53. Shavers lived longer but paid the price, brain damaged, broken. Joe? Gone at 67. Never forgave me. Maybe because I was smart enough to say no, and he wanted that 4th fight so badly it consumed him. Fear saved me, kept me alive. That's the truth they don't teach in boxing. Sometimes refusing to fight is the bravest thing you can do.